I have a couple things on the agenda for today. I've spent this morning moving some of my seedlings and starts from inside the house to the outside in my greenhouse. I'm getting to the time of year where it's just more feasible and the temperatures are more in line to where it's just easier and better to put my seed starts out here. When it was colder and the temperatures fluctuated a lot more, it made more sense to do all those earlier starts inside my house where I could keep an eye on them more. But now that the season has progressed and my greenhouse is getting full of stuff, I'm out here more often than I would have been at that point. So it just makes sense to move everything out. I'm going to give you a little seedling tour of what's going on in my greenhouse. And then after all that's done, I've got some onions and some things I've been hardening off that I would like to get planted, but we'll see how far we get. And to get started, let's take a look at what's going on in my greenhouse at this point. So, I have some peppers here that have sprouted. These are mostly peppers. This is my failed peppers. For some reason, my pepper plants have not germinated, and I have this little guy, which I'm not sure what it is, that sprouted, but we're going to let it keep growing and see what comes. It's definitely not a pepper. I keep watering them because I have some trays, like this one right here. I have some trays like this one right here where they just started sprouting and they were planted at the same time as some of the others. I don't know why I'm having such bad germination. I'm not sure if it's user error or what, but I am having a bit of a bad pepper year on some of my peppers. These right here are celosias, but something I had in with my celosia was labeled wrong because that little guy down there almost looks like a basil. More peppers, a couple of snapdragons. This is ageratum. That right there is supposed to be some gomphrena, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's ageratum and gomphrena both, because I accidentally mixed them up. Now these that I sowed this way, I have much better germination on, and they are some of the same seeds that I sowed here. So there's something about probably the water content when I sow things this way that they like better. Because see, this one has some spotty germination, but I will say, like, there's a whole row missing there. And this tip-top rose, some of these are literally the same tip-top rose, but I have a whole row here that didn't come up. This is some Brent Hurst Texas sage, pink Sunday sage, white sage, status, pineapple sage, and then my tomato seedlings are starting to come up. These are my tomatoes for my own personal garden. And every time I come out here, I see more and more popping through the surface. More tomatoes for my own personal garden. Each stick is a different variety, so, well, no, that's not true. Some of them I've planted 2 or 3 plants of that variety. But as you can see, if you look at the names, most of those sticks have a different variety written on them. It's going to be a big experiment this year. Now these are my seed sale tomatoes and ground cherries. And I need to come and get a notebook and count how many are in each container, because each container is a different variety. That's a Dancing with Smurfs. How many of each there are so I can go print up tags. I use my laser printer to print up these tags, and they are on waterproof stickers, and they fit those little square tags a little better. They don't have overhang like they do on these little white ones, but those are the tags I put them on. I put them on there, and then I mark each of them. So I need to count how many that I have so I know how many tags to make. These are my personal peppers and ground cherries, the ones that actually made it. I have a a eucalyptus that isn't very happy, but is growing. I mean, it's getting bushy. It's just got a couple leaves that aren't happy. And these all down here are things I just started, such as I did try another round of peppers just to see if I get better germination, if it was the time of year I planted it. Maybe it wasn't getting enough moisture. Some of these are marigolds. Some of these are basil. And what else did I plant? Oh, amaranth. Also, there's some amaranth down here. So that's just various variety. Each pot, I sowed them the same way I did my seed cell tomatoes. Each pot is a mass planting of a different variety. Oh, there's marigolds down here too. Did I say that? Sweet peas, like the flowering kind, not the edible kind. I didn't want too many because I don't have too many places for them. These are cleomes that I just planted and I haven't sprouted. These right here are some ranunculus and some lysianthus that were planted a little later. And there's a couple of eucalyptus there. This is a flat of celery. This is a tomato that's flowering that I started, I want to say in February. It's a 42-day tomato. I got it as a free seed packet with some seeds I ordered. So I decided I was going to grow it in a container and see if we could get some early tomatoes, and it looks like we probably will be. This is some calendula that I've started, and once it gets big enough, it'll go directly to the garden. It won't be potted up. These right here, I'm not sure what they are. I've Googled it, and it's come up as cilantro, which I know it's not that because it doesn't smell like it, and the leaves aren't right. It also has come up as feverfew and poppy. My onions, that got a little bit waterlogged last night, so I had to move it in because there's no holes in it. As you can see, there's more of them out here along with onions and leeks. And then we have lysianthus hardening off and a horseradish root. Okay, this is the leftovers where that pile of wood was, and he just kind of raked and leveled it flat, well, semi-flat. And we've decided that instead of extending our onion bed, we're going to lay some compost on top of this, and we're just going to put the rest of the onions and leeks in this area here.
You can see chunks of wood here from the logs. This is just basically decomposed sponge at this point. It should work well to hold water for the roots and kind of regulate the water for the plants to uptake, as well as providing some nutrients as it's breaking down.
had to go in and take a shower after planting those onions because I was quite dirty. But the next thing we're working on is this little triangle trellis structure that I want out here in front, just to put a few veggies on that you can eat as you pass by through the summer. Here is the after of the structure. It will be for beans and some little cherry tomatoes and for little snacks as you walk by to go out to your car. I do need to get this yard cleaned back up, but I kind of just wanted to come out here and show you what we built last night. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me in the garden. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. Bye.